Well, holla, 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 bet you a bottom dollar it's the Wrestling Review Week 3, the new title belt. And I like it. I gotta say, I like The Rock's new title belt. Again, welcome to the show. And the new title belt, it's the only thing I don't like about it are the diamonds. I kind of think that the W for the WWE should have just been gold, but whatever. It's classy. It's classy looking. It's not... It's flamboyant, but I think without being childish. And that's nice. But, well, let's get to the rest of the stuff here. Starting off at the top of the show, the promo between CM Punk and John Cena. Was that the worst thing ever or what? Melodramatic. The crowd did not care whatsoever. They could have come out there and said, "We're going to have a Hell in a Cell match right now. And guess what? Also, Hulk Hogan is back." And the crowd would have been, yeah, whatever, you know, that's cool, I guess. You know, there would have been a few brothers. But, I mean, the crowd did not care whatsoever that John Cena just totally threw out the window his Royal Rumble win to face The Rock. And there are people out there, and I've seen on Twitter, who are mad about the possibility, which I think will probably be inevitability, of the twice in a lifetime between John Cena and The Rock. But, I mean, would you rather see John Cena and who knows who on a lower card, and then The Rock versus CM Punk round 3 at WrestleMania? I know I wouldn't. So, I mean, this whole thing between Cena and CM Punk that happened last night on Raw, extremely stupid. And if Cena doesn't come out the victor, then that's extremely stupid too. But we've got a long time to build before WrestleMania, so we'll see what happens. The Shield versus Sheamus, Ryback, and Chris Jericho. What a waste of time, and what an obvious, just, you can't involve Cena in the Shield thing anymore, so throw in Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho needs something of his own. He needs to be striving for something or having a rivalry. It doesn't make sense for a big star like that to team up with the regulars on the roster. And I get it, it puts them over and it makes them seem like they're at the same level he is, but it doesn't give him credibility, I don't think. And so he needs to move on and be doing something on his own, or being the leader of something. I don't know. I'm so tired of the Shield. They don't do anything destructive enough. They're not doing anything to where, you know, they need to be ending Raws. Instead of the way that Raw ended last night, the Shield should have ended Raw like that. They should have come out there and beat somebody up. They should have been the ones leaving Cena devastated on the ground. Instead, they're middle of the show, whatever. And they're not, for all the rage that in the promos between when Jericho and Ryback and Sheamus did their little thing backstage, and how outraged they seemed with all of that, the Shield hasn't really done anything too destructive. If you remember when the NWO was involved in WWE, and even, you know, that's not the favorite time or the heyday of the NWO, but WCW doesn't count in my opinion. If you look at that, there were ambulances involved. The Rock was put in an ambulance. I mean, even in stuff that's not a huge, you know, big deal group that's coming and destructing the WWE, Brock Lesnar put Triple H in an ambulance. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was Kevin Nash. That was Kevin Nash, who for some reason was around for like a month or two last year. If you're gonna bring destruction upon the WWE, you gotta be putting people in ambulances, because that makes it real. Not that it's not real. The good thing about last night is interruptions were timely. If you look at even though that beginning promo sucked, when John Cena came out, sort of made his point about I'm going to WrestleMania, immediately there was CM Punk's music. And even though the rest of the thing kind of sucked, there was no waiting for that, like, obvious, well, it's time for you to come out now, sort of a thing. It was boom, and he's there. And same thing with a couple other, with the six-man mixed tag. Tensai, Brodus Clay, and one of the Funkadactyls. against what's their faces and the hot girl. I can't remember their names. So that's all right. They're not very important, or else they'd be in a better match. But when Brodus Clay came out, then the Puerto Ricans' music came on, you know, and so it was just boom right there. And then at the end of the show, The Rock, when he's out there, he kind of gets done what he's saying. Boom, John Cena's music, and that was a little more of an obvious sort of a thing, but interruptions timely, and that it helps with the emotion of the show when, you know, I don't know, it seems more spontaneous when that happens. Whatever. Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio. That was a pretty good match. Ziggler trying to cash in again, and Ricardo steals the Money in the Bank briefcase from the referee, and Ziggler runs out. That was pretty funny. And I like what they're doing with Del Rio. And Ziggler has got to get a title on his belt, or he's got to get a title belt around his waist, or he's got to ditch, I think he has to ditch AJ. And he's got to get rid of Big E. Maybe he could even survive with Big E, but I don't think he needs AJ. I think he can go out there on his own, and he doesn't need this whole sideshow entourage sort of a thing. He needs to become a champion in his own right, because if you look, you know, a year ago, Dolph Ziggler and CM Punk are on the same level of how they were kind of rising up. And same thing with Daniel Bryan as well. Daniel Bryan was even World Heavyweight Champion. But then all of a sudden, Ziggler, even though he won the Money in the Bank, he just kind of sat on it forever while these other guys are doing all these ups and downs. And Ziggler's just kind of, you know, in the background, in a way. I think it's time for him to cash in. I really think it is. And so hopefully that happens soon. Alright, on the quick list today, Swagger State of the Union, I thought that was pretty good. The match versus Daniel Bryan sucked, and I don't like that Daniel Bryan tapped out, but it does give credibility to the ankle lock, or Patriot Act as he's calling it. Paul Heyman versus Vince McMahon, I think next week or 2 weeks from now. That'll be interesting. We're still waiting to hear from this man, though. Brock Lesnar, I mean. What? We're still waiting to hear from him to see what will happen with him at WrestleMania. So, because he's not involved yet. When The Rock said, "Put this one in the Hall of Fame," referring to the old WWE belt when he brought out the new one, that was classic. Because even though he had spent that whole promo making fun of it, to say "Put this in the Hall of Fame," I think it was a boost to John Cena and his reputation when he did that, and I like that he did that. I think that's pretty much it, though. Like I said, I really like the new WWE title, and I like that it has the Rock's Brahma Bulls insignias on the side plates of the belt, because it either means that A, when the next champion wins, that there'll be a new belt, or B, that'll be a new feature to the belt where whoever is the champion gets their little, you know, symbol on the belt. And that's kind of cool. That's a new thing, and it's cool to bring a new feature to something that's so you know, it's been the same forever and ever. You get the belt, you know, either it stays the same or you get a completely custom belt. I think it's cool to have a little bit of a different feature to it. I mean, say if John Cena wins, then you get like the hustle, loyalty, respect or something, or you can't see me on those little side plates. That might be cool. So, I think that is just about it. Until next time, I am the White Cat of the Night. Meow.